Hello and welcome to LMC TV Varsity Sports production of playoff softball here at Central Field with Eli Letterman. I'm Stephen Rome. It'll be the Mamaroneck Tigers taking on the Scarsdale Raiders. Now, Mamaroneck, Eli, started the season, or ended its season rather, strong. However, they're facing an obstacle now they'll have to overcome.
Absolutely, Stephen. Their freshman ace, Gianna Magrino, who pitched a complete game shutout on Monday, is out today. She's dealing with some arm soreness. So stepping into her place is going to be senior Chelsea Rose. She's not inexperienced herself, but she is not the first choice for this Tiger team. They're going to have to overcome that. Hopefully she can step up and the offense can step up behind her.
And the Scarsdale Raiders at the 11 seed. Now there's a lot of familiarity between these two teams, so how might that factor in today?
Well, Stephen, the Tigers have beaten them twice this year, but they do say it's hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. But if the Tigers are going to do that today, they're going to do it on the shoulders of Chelsea Rose and her strong pitching and hopefully some offense behind her.
All right, well, it should be a great game. It's a beautiful day to play some softball. First round action is coming up next on LMC TV. So welcome back here to Central Field. It'll be the Mamaroneck Tigers taking on the Scarsdale Raiders. This is the third time they've played each other, but this one has a little bit more meaning. First round playoff action with Eli Letterman. I'm Stephen Rome as the Mamaroneck Tigers gather around the mound.
Steve, we've got a beautiful Friday afternoon. Low wind, perfect temperature. This field kind of an oasis from the traffic that's just been surrounding the field. Traffic on all streets surrounding, but a true oasis, Central Field. Great day for softball.
And traffic that had some players coming late to the game, riding on bikes.
Bikes, I mean, crazy. But we're here now, the team's here now. It's time for softball.
And it'll be Kaylee Waterhouse, the shortstop from Scarsdale, who pops up the first pitch from Rose, and the catch is made by Lauren Howitz. So 1 pitch and 1 out.
If it's as easy as that all day, Steve, I think the Tigers will be fine.
So nice play for Chelsea Rose, who is not normally a pitcher. Gianna Magrino, as we mentioned in the intro, has a sore arm, but a first out now, and it'll be Olivia Henkoff for Scarsdale.
So, Stephen, going around the diamond here, we have Josie Steinberg catching. Chelsea Rose, as we mentioned, on the mound.
And there's a line drive to the shortstop, Mia Steinberg, for the second out.
Jess Fayiko at first base. Excuse me. Sydney Naftalin at second. Mia Steinberg, sister of Josie, at shortstop. Tava Casper at third base, and in the outfield it's from left to right Lauren Hurwitz, Emma Goldstein, and Patricia Muratori.
And there's a ground ball to Casper, who throws across the diamond for the third out. So a very quick inning, 3 up and 3 down. We'll be back from Mamaroneck. So we're back here for the bottom of the first inning, and it'll be Josie Steinberg, the catcher, freshman, facing off against Megumi Ozawa on the mound for the Scarsdale Raiders.
Stephen, a real strong first inning from Chelsea Rose. Let's see if Ozawa can return serve in the bottom half.
And here's the pitch, taken for a ball. So 1-0 is the count to Josie Steinberg. Her older sister, Mia Steinberg, is batting third and playing shortstop. And there's a ground ball to short. The throw across the diamond is in time for the first out. That was Kaylee Waterhouse with the putout. And now Tava Casper, the third baseman, steps up to the plate.
Stephen, we mentioned that Rose is going to need all the run support she can get today, and you'd like to see some of the Tigers batters to get that started, taking pitches, fouling balls off, and working the count, and then trying to put a ball into play.
Well, Casper swung and missed on the first attempt. And here's the pitch. It's just grounded foul off the line. It looked like an off-speed pitch there.
A little bit out in front on that one.
So it'll be 0-2 to Tava Casper, who is cousins with Gianna Magrino.
Learn something new.
And here's the pitch. High and outside for a ball. 1-2 now. And here is the 1-2. Taken for another ball, so Casper battling back in this count. Now, Eli, when ready, would you like to take us around the diamond?
So behind the plate, we have Abby Vitrone.
And Casper strikes out swinging for out number 2. It'll be Mia Steinberg now.
And as mentioned, we have Megumi Ozawa on the mound at first base, Mia Carroll, second base, Julia Jamesley, shortstop Kayla Waterhouse, third base, or Kaylee Waterhouse, excuse me, third base Sarah Weintraub, left field.
And there is a looping ball caught by the third baseman, Sarah Weintraub, just as you say her name. So that'll end the inning. We will finish that up next inning. So both teams go 1, 2, 3 in the first. We're on to the second here on LMC TV. So we're back here on LMC TV, going to the top of the second inning here at Central Field. Both teams went 1, 2, 3 in the first inning. Now Chelsea Rose going into her second inning of work. And it'll be Sarah Weintraub, the third baseman, in the cleanup position, leading off this inning. And we are ready to go. Rose steps on the mound and deals. That is popped into center field. Emma Goldstein is there and makes the catch for the first out.
Steven, so as you mentioned, this is the third time the two teams have played. The first matchup on May 2nd, Mamaroneck took 6-5 over Scarsdale. And just 2 days later, May 4th, the Tigers really laid down a beating on the Raiders. 16-5 they won.
And that's a first pitch ball to Mia Carroll, the first baseman, batting 5th today. And there's another ball inside.
And you wonder, Steven, is that something that plays into the heads of the Raiders, either positively or negatively, when you've lost twice to a team, especially the last time so big? Will be interesting to see how they come out.
And there's a strike.
Hasn't seemed to affect them thus far.
So it'll be a 2-1 count now. Rose dealing to Carroll, and that is weakly chopped foul.
Very nice off-speed pitch from Rose. Had her out front.
So 2-2 now. 1 out here in the top of the second inning. And there's another foul ball. Again, Carroll is out in front. And here's the pitch, taken for a ball. So now the count goes to 3-2.
A lot of chatter between the two dugouts, Steven, and from the field. Very loud.
And here's the pitch, high for ball 4.
So there's our first base runner of the game. Let's see if the Raiders can do anything with that. Just 1 out in the inning.
And here comes Lauren Wolf to the plate, the right fielder. Carroll off of first base, reaching on the walk. And here's the pitch, another ball. So it'll be a 1-0 to Wolf. Another ball, 2-0.
Off the first 2 pitches, Mia Carroll has just been dancing off first base, kind of daring Josie Steinberg to throw over. She stayed her down twice.
Here's the 2-0, fouled back in our direction off the third base side. So it'll be 2-1 now. One out here in the top of the second. Mia Carroll leads off of first. And there's the pitch looped into the outfield. Lauren Hurwitz coming on and sliding to make a nice catch for the second out of the inning.
What a grab. She tracked back for a moment. She sort of misjudged that one and then ran it. It looked maybe for a second like she wouldn't get there, but she dove, slid, and made a great play.
So now 2 outs, and it will be Julia Jamesley up at the plate. And here's the pitch, a called strike. Now Lauren Hurwitz is playing the flex position, which means she is not actually batting, so she's out there for her fielding, and she certainly did not let down her coach or her team there.
Absolutely, essentially a designated fielder.
There's a ball outside, 1-1 now the count to Jamesley. And here's the pitch. Taken for a ball. So now the 2-1 pitch. Rose deals, ground ball and through the hole for a base hit. So Jamesley is on, Hurwitz fields in and overthrows their cutoff man. Steinberg got short, but Faiko backed her up and nothing came of that. So the first hit of the game for Julia Jamesley.
Steven, there is a clear example of why you teach the fundamentals. You got to back up those throws because you never know. It's the difference between first and second and runners on the corners.
So now Sophie Hodges, the DP designated player, comes to bat and fouls the first pitch off. So Carroll off of second, Jamesley off of first. The first real scoring opportunity for either side here in this young game.
Absolutely, Stephen. I'll be interested to see if Chelsea Rose, who has not pitched much, can remain composed in this type of situation. She's now got a batter 0-2 and could be right out of this jam.
So 2 outs, 2 on, 2 strikes here in the top of the second. And here's the pitch. Taken for a ball. 1-2 now. And here's the pitch. Ground looped and caught by Teva Casper. Line drive, so the Tigers get out of it on 1 hit and 2 runners left on base, no errors. We'll be back for the bottom half of the second inning. So we're back here for the bottom of the second as the Raiders huddle around Megumi Ozawa, the pitcher. It was a 1-2-3 inning in her first inning, and now Emma Goldstein, the cleanup hitter, steps up to the plate. Goldstein had a big offensive output on Monday's game in the last game of Mamaroneck season against Rye-Neck. 2 big RBI doubles there. And she takes Ozawa's first pitch for ball 1.
Steven, the Tigers just escaped some danger there in the top half of this inning. Now let's see if they can put some runs of their own on the board. In this
another ball.
Bottom half. Go ahead.
Another ball, 2-0 now to Goldstein, the center fielder. And she takes ball 3.
Well, Steven, are you giving her the green light here to swing 3-0, or are you letting her forcing Ozawa to pitch, throw a strike?
Well, she did not have the green light apparently, and she took a strike, 3-1. I was gonna say, I think early in the game like this, a base runner is what you need here, so we'll see. And she does walk, so she becomes Mamaroneck's first base runner. Emma Goldstein reaches first on that walk. And now Eliza Simon, the DP from Mamaroneck, will step up to the plate now. Ozawa deals, and that ball is lined out to right field and caught by, that would be Lauren Wolf out in right field. So 1 out now.
Lauren Wolf, of course, Steven, the assumed relief pitcher in the case that Ozawa either tires or struggles.
And here's Jess Faiko now with 1 out and a runner on first base, and she fouls it back out of play for strike 1. So 1 out, Emma Goldstein off at first base, and here's the pitch out to center field, and making the catch is Carolina Steinfeld for 2 outs now. So Jess Faiko flies out, and now with 2 outs, the pitcher Chelsea Rose now steps up to the plate.
Absolutely an impressive catch as well, because I've seen at both sides their outfielders have been complaining a bit about the sun. So impressive staring up into the sun to make that catch.
And Rose takes strike 1 from Ozawa. And the pass ball now. So Emma Goldstein advances to second base. The ball squirting past the catcher, Abby Vitrone. So now a runner off of second base, and first runner in scoring position for the Tigers. And Rose fouls that ball off of the backstop.
And that pass ball, Stephen, could be important. If Rose can find a gap here with a single, Goldstein presumably would be able to cross home plate and put up a run.
So here's the 1-2. And Rose fouls it off the first base side and out of play as a fan returns the ball to the field. So it'll be 1-2. Rose could do a lot to help herself out here, potentially knock in some run support. It'll be a 1-2 count from Megumi Ozawa. Taken for a ball. Goldstein does not advance there. And here's the pitch out into right field, and coming in is Wolf for the catch. So a walk, but nothing else for the Tigers. No hits, no runs, and 1 man left on base. We'll be back for the top of the 3rd here on LMC TV.
And we're back here for the top of the 3rd inning. No score yet between the Tigers and the Raiders. Chelsea Rose on the mound has looked strong thus far, Stephen.
Yes, absolutely. She's given up 1 hit and a walk, and that's it. Both pitchers really haven't given up much. So defense will become more important if it remains a low-scoring game, and both offenses will have to try to capitalize on any opportunities they do get.
Absolutely, and we have Carolina Steinfeld coming up to bat now, the 9-hitter, leading off. And the first pitch from Rose is taken for a strike, 0-1. And Steinfeld fakes bunt, but takes for a ball that time, 1-1 count now. At this point, I think you take any runners you can get.
Yes, I would agree with that. And Octavia Casper, third baseman, is playing well in, so anticipating that bunt.
And the next pitch also taken for a ball, 2-1 count now. Right in. She looked maybe a little inside to Steinfeld up at the plate, but 2-2 count now. Rose looking to strike her out. She gets it with an off-speed pitch, but the ball gets away, and Steinfeld safe at first base. So for those scoring at home, you can record a strikeout for Rose, but I don't know. Stephen, what do you mark for the batter getting to first on a
I might not be the most official scoring here, but I'm writing K and dropped next to it. She is on first base, though.
May not be official, but may get the job done. And now back to the top of the order, Kaylee Waterhouse, the shortstop, up to the plate.
She flew out her first time to Hurwitz in left field.
And took the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. Second pitch though, in for a strike, 1-1.
Now Mamaroneck's gonna have to hope that drop third strike doesn't come back to cost it. You know, those are the types of errors. You have an out right there. Nice pitch, put away pitch from Rose.
Absolutely, and that one roped into left field by Waterhouse, drops right in front of her with sort of in between play. And now it's a double for Kaylee Waterhouse. Runners on second and third. That's a really tough play in left field.
Yeah, it looked like a shortstop. She didn't know if she should try to run in to grab it or play it on one bounce or back up to try to get a clearer angle on it. But regardless, they did hold Scarsdale from scoring a run there. So now runners on second and third. You know, Allison Podolsky, the Mamaroneck coach, has got to be hoping that Hurwitz could have stayed in front of that at least, put her body in front, but she did minimize the damage. No run did score.
And now Olivia Hankoff coming out, the left fielder. That one's in for a strike, 0-1. But Stephen, just like you mentioned, is that drop third strike going to cost them? Right now, we'd be looking at just a runner on second and not one on third, had that strike been recorded. That one fouled off down the third base line. Quick 0-2 count to Hankoff.
Still no outs here, so Mamaroneck's probably going to sacrifice a run for an out here. Still early in the game.
That one looked maybe even like a pitch out, Steven. Taken for a ball, of course. 1-2 count to Hankoff. And that one is grounded in some base running hijinks, it appeared. I apologize for not totally documenting, but an out at home plate. Essentially what happened there was a bloop right in front of the shortstop, Mia Steinberg. She fielded. The runner on third stayed on third. The runner on second charged quickly to third, forcing the runner home where she was tagged out.
Yeah, a lot of excitement on that one. I'm going to rule that a fielder's choice in the scorebook here. But yeah, as you said, looked like the runners were not communicating. So at first they were maybe holding up because yeah, it looked like maybe if Steinberg could charge in and grab that in the air, they didn't want to be doubled up. But and Hankoff did line out to Steinberg her first at bat, but she let it bounce. Almost, I mean, obviously the infield fly rule wasn't in play, and it wasn't a pop-up, but the same sort of scenario there. And they did cut down the run at home, so nice heads-up play by Mia Steinberg, faking that throw to first base, and then cutting down the runner at home.
And the overall outcome is runners on first and third with one out, with the catcher Abby Ventrone coming up to the plate. That one goes foul. Meritori couldn't quite get there, and some good fortune maybe to save this inning for Chelsea Rowe. She's now gotten out and a runner on first. If she can get a ground ball, we're looking at a potential double play to get her out of this jam.
Ventrone grounded out to Tava Casper, the third baseman, her first time at the plate.
And that pitch in for a ball and then a throw, just to keep the runners in check, I guess. Steven, in a kickball game today between my government class and my macro class, the same thing happened to me. And that one is popped up to left center, and Goldstein ranges over. She throws home, runner tagging, and the throw is not on time and off, in fact. And a play at second. She is safe. That is Abby Ventrone safe. Excuse me. Olivia Hankoff safe at second base.
So nice catch there by Emma Goldstein, ranging to her right. So that's the second out now. However, tagging up was Waterhouse, so she scores the game's first run. Now 1-0 Scarsdale, and then the misplaying of her throw there by the catcher Josie Steinberg allowed Hankoff to advance there, sliding in to second base.
A lot of excitement this inning, Steven. And now Sarah Weintraub, after taking the first pitch for a ball, takes the second first strike with a 1-1 count to her. This is a big point for the Raiders. If they can add to this lead and not just get that one run, but with a runner in scoring position, get another as Weintraub takes one in the dirt, 2-1.
Nice
That would be
scoop there.
big for them.
Excuse me, nice scoop there by Josie Steinberg, the catcher, preventing a runner from advancing potentially. Freshman behind the plate.
And that one is roped into left field. Hurwitz with a throw in. And that throw will not be in time. It is now 2-0 Raiders. That was Hankoff scoring from second base on the line drive from Weintraub into left field.
And I think this is where we start to see situations where if Mamaroneck's top pitching was here, maybe not all these pitches would be as hittable. You know, maybe you know, they'd be able to cut down on these scoring opportunities.
Absolutely.
That said, it's still very early. Top of the third, still. Mamaroneck's got 2 outs, so trying to minimize the damage here and keep the game close.
First baseman Mia Carroll to the plate. And she rubs that one just foul down the left field line.
The Tigers lucky there.
Absolutely.
That would have been trouble.
And Steven, as Rose stands on the mound now, 2 outs, 2 runners in this inning, that first drop third strike has to loom large right now.
Yes, definitely. It was the 9-hitter instead of, as Coach Podolsky goes over to talk it over with Chelsea Rose, it was the 9-hitter instead of turning over the lineup with 1 out, you know, kind of cruising along. It's an extra runner who gets on base. Then there's the double from Waterhouse, and the runners start moving around the base paths here. So kind of things spiraled a little bit after that initial error.
So we're back with a 1-1 count to Mia Carroll. Rose just looking to bear down and get herself out of this inning without further damage. And that one is popped up to Mia Steinberg at shortstop. She puts it away, but not without any damage this inning. 2 runs for the Raiders. It is 2-0 Scarsdale in the middle of the third inning. We'll be back. We're back here for the bottom of the third inning between the Tigers and the Scarsdale Red Raiders. 2-0 Raiders right now with Sydney Naphthalin coming up to the plate.
Now here's the bottom 8 and 9 hitters here for the Tigers, so trying to turn over the lineup with some runners on base to try to rally back after falling behind 2-0.
First pitch in from Ozawa is high and outside for ball 1. You'd like to see here, Stephen, the Tigers batters come out attacking to try, because Ozawa really has been rolling so far. As she delivers a second pitch for ball 2. She's been rolling so far. They've got to try to make her uncomfortable, swinging at pitches and really attacking early in the count.
Some sort of hold up here. The Mamaroneck coach now running out to talk to the first base umpire. That's Allison Rogers-Bedowski, who herself was a softball star in her high school days at Rhinebeck High School.
And the conversation appears to be over without
no indication as to what that was regarding.
All right, so 2-0 count to Naphthalin. And she fouls that one back, 2-1 now. I'm sorry, as it's now 2-2. We missed a pitching change. Lauren Wolf is now on the mound for Ozawa, who I wonder maybe if that was some of the confusion we saw if they didn't make their lineup change clear. As Naphthalin ropes one to second base, but Julia Jamesley makes a great diving stop. Ozawa, Stephen, had been rolling and really not struggling. I wonder what might have happened. But
we will have to investigate. But in the meantime, a beautiful play there by Jamesley, ranging to her right, cutting off that line drive. Naphthalin had kind of chopped at it, but very hard hit ball. Looked like it could have been the start of a some sort of rally there, but
And now stepping to the plate is Patricia Muratori, but the umpire has called an illegal pitch on that first one. Wonder if that may have been the issue when Coach Podolsky came out and spoke to the umpire. And now the Scarsdale coach, Dave Scagnili, is out there speaking to the umpire, who's speaking with Wolf on the mound.
It looks like the umpire is instructing Wolf as to where to stand to deliver a legal pitch. It's a little bit of a hold-up here.
As Wolf is given some positive reinforcement from her teammates and from the Scarsdale cheering section. And we're back underway.
We'll have to see if these hold-ups kind of impact her rhythm as she's just kind of starting to get settled here in her first inning of work.
So now the pitch to Muratori. She fouls that one off. One count as the illegal pitch did count for a ball. And another one fouled off now for Muratori. She's now behind in the count, 1-2, 1 out here after a great stop from James Lee at second base. And Muratori fouls that one off, and the right fielder, Ozawa, not able to get over there.
Good effort there by Ozawa.
Almost took a tumble into the fence, but that's commitment, Steve, and hustle. Like to see that.
Playing Muratori very shallow in right field, really just beyond the reach of James Lee out there.
And that one is lined out to James Lee. She's now made 2 outs in this inning. Muratori didn't get a great piece of that and just looped it out to second base. Steven, something to also consider, it may have just been the Raiders' plan to have Ozawa pitch 2 innings and bring Wolf on for the final 5, presumably. That's something we'll have to find out later in the game. Stepping to the plate now, top of the order, is Josie Steinberg, the freshman catcher for the Tigers.
Steinberg grounded out the shortstop Waterhouse, her first time at the plate.
And the first pitch is swung on for a strike, an off-speed pitch. It was very far out in front. Steven, now we're back at the top of the order. The Tigers yet to record a hit. They had the base runner, Emma Goldstein, who walked, but they're yet to put a ball in play for a base hit. See if they can do that the second time around.
And it doesn't seem that Ozawa or Wolf, as that pitch does not appear to count.
A little more confusion now. It's like another illegal pitch. Go ahead, Steve.
As I was saying, it doesn't appear that either Ozawa or Wolf are pitching particularly fast necessarily, but they are mixing in those off-speed pitches, as we just saw Steinberg way out in front there. And I guess that's fooling these Tiger batters enough.
And the defense behind those pitchers, James Lee making 2 plays this inning, and there have been some nice plays in the outfield. That always helps when you're pitching, and you can get good defense behind you.
And don't forget the presence of Gianna Magrino, not only on the mound, but also batting. She was right in the mix in the middle of the order when she played. So
the loss at least being felt so far. So that was a second illegal pitch from Wolf, and another discussion at the mound. Hopefully this time she's back and on track, and she'll deal. And that one popped up by Steinberg, and Vitrone able to get there to make the final out of the inning. 3-3 here at Central Elementary School, excuse me. It is 2-0 Raiders. We'll be back after a break. And we're back here for the top of the 4th inning between the Tigers and Raiders. We have a pitching change, Stephen. We caught this one. Tava Casper in from third base onto the mound, switching spots with Chelsea Rose, who now will take third base position.
And up at the plate will be Lauren Wolf, the right fielder, who flew out to Hurwitz, her first time at the plate, and is now pitching on the mound.
So Casper, a new face on the mound and a new arm. We'll see what that does to these Raider batters as she stares in to deliver. First pitch for a ball. Stephen, already seeing a little more speed from Casper than we saw from Rose.
Definitely more speed coming off of her ball here. She's also a freshman.
And that one is blooped into left field between Steinberg and Hurwitz, but they're able to keep Wolf at first base for just a single. She got around on that one, did make fantastic contact, blooped it right where she had to put it, out of the reach of both Steinberg at shortstop and Hurwitz in left field.
Exactly. You know, looked like it was a nice pitch for her from Casper. A lot of spin on that ball. Not a clean piece of contact by any means, but enough to get a base hit and a leadoff single.
And the first pitch to Julia Jamesley was taken for a strike. 0-1 count. Jamesley with her uniform dirty after some plays at second base last inning. In the second pitch. That one's low and gets away from Steinberg. And Wolf will move over to second base there. So low and for a ball and in the dirt, and it gets past 1-2 count now.
And these are the types of little small mistakes that could potentially amplify you know, the scoring in an inning, as
absolutely
James Lee bunts that one foul. You know, those are the types of thing, an extra runner in scoring position in a close game where the Tigers are already struggling to score. You know, you got to try to avoid those as much as possible.
Right. And Stephen, mistakes like those are costly even when you have your ace on the mound, but when you're without that ace, they loom even larger. As that pitch was taken outside, 2-2 count now.
James Lee singled her first time at the plate.
Part of that, if I'm not mistaken, that rally last inning. And that one is lined into right field to Muratori, and Wolf will be held at third. So runners on the corners now. James Lee with another single, that time to right field.
A nice play there by Muratori, getting the ball in quick to Rose on the mound. Scarsdale holding up James Lee, rather Wolf at third base now, but no outs here, so Mamaroneck needs outs.
Another big juncture for the Tigers here. This game really could get away from them in the fourth inning. And now up at the plate is Sophie Hodges. She bunts, lays down a bunt, and Casper faked to second and then didn't make the throw to first, and that leaves the bases loaded now. So she bunts, they get to the ball, and no play is made.
It looked like it would have been a tough play there at first base. I'm not sure if Casper's throw would have beat it. A very nice bunt there by Hodges, kind of not easily playable, easily reachable by Steinberg behind the plate. Chelsea Rose was playing in on third base, but a long run for her and Casper too, so kind of a perfect spot for that bunt. And now it's not merely a sacrifice or potentially a squeeze play, but in fact a hit itself. So bases loaded now, 3 straight singles.
And time has been called now, and we're coming back. So the bases will be loaded for Carolina Stanfeld, and she recorded an out her last time up, Stephen?
Well, she struck out, but she reached first base on that drop dead strike, so now batting again in another key point.
And the first pitch low, taken for a ball to Stanfeld, excuse me. A big batter here for Teva Casper.
And now Mamaroneck's really gonna have to see what it gets. If it gets a ground ball, potentially throwing home, potentially going for a double play, you know, trying to cut down on a tag up in a fly ball situation. So just trying to record as many outs as possible
to reduce the damage.
So
that last pitch was in for a strike. We have a 1-1 count now. And that one put into play. It hits the runner going to first, and there's some confusion.
Looks like the runner off of first base, Sophie Hodges, is called out when the ball hits her.
But Lauren Wolf does score from third base. And James Lee is going back from third base to second base. And Wow. So turn of events. No runs scored. The only out was Hodges. Hodges at coming off first base, he was hit by the ball, and all the runners stay in their place. So 1 out, base is still loaded, and now up is the leadoff hitter, Kaylee Waterhouse.
And talk about a nice break for Mamaroneck.
Absolutely. That one is fouled off by Waterhouse.
No runs score, no runners advance even. I guess besides, well, no runners advance.
No.
Because James Lee's still at second, Wolf still at third. Stainfeld now goes to first, replacing Hodges, who the ball hit.
So that could be a very big play for them. If they can get a ground ball here and get out of this inning, that stroke of luck could play a very big role in this game. As the second pitch fouled off again, so 0-2 count. And if Casper can get this out, that'd be huge for the Tigers.
Waterhouse doubled her last time up and scored the game's first run. The leadoff hitter here.
As Mia Steinberg calls time and has a conversation with the field umpire. And the conversation doesn't result in anything, and we're back.
Getting ahead on this batter's been big for Tava Casper, throwing strikes. Very important here.
And that one high, and a play at the plate. And she is safe, in under the tag. The pitch was high and got past Steinberg catching. There was a play at the plate. They were able to get there, but the runner got in under the tag. So 3-0 now. Raiders, runners on second and third.
And just as I was talking about getting ahead in the count and throwing strikes, a ball way high over the head of Josie Steinberg. And again, that sort of error is not something the Tigers can really afford. That said, however, it's still only a 3-0 game, and this offense can definitely produce some runs here in bulk. So, not reason to panic just yet.
And that one also in the dirt, so 2-2 count now. Stephen, what that pass ball also does is take away the possibility of a double play, which would be huge for them to just get out of this inning right now. And they really need to reduce the damage. If they let it get out of hand here, the Tigers may be in some real trouble. And that one is grounded to Nathlon at second. And she gets the out at first, but on the play, another run scores. And Stainfeld moves to third. So another run scores, 4-0 now.
That was James Lee coming in to score. And an RBI on Waterhouse's ground out.
And now coming to play is left fielder Hankoff. And the first pitch she took was for a ball.
So now 4-0 here in the top of the fourth.
So that pitch is high and a throwdown. Close play at third, but she was able to get back. That's Stainfeld on third.
Very close play there. Nice throw down by Josie Steinberg to Chelsea Rose, who applied the tag just a bit late, it looked like.
And that's now a 3-0 count from Casper. Let's see, she takes a walk back to maybe regain some focus. And that ball delivered in for a strike. It looked like Hankoff was taking all the way there, Steven.
So Stainfeld is off of third.
And that one, a called, oh, she got her! The throw down from Steinberg off the pitch, and they get Stainfeld napping off of third base. After a big inning here for the Raiders, they add 2 more runs to the board. We will be back with the bottom of the fourth after a break. And we're back for the bottom of the fourth inning. The Raiders up 4-0 on the Tigers. Steven, the Tigers are going to have to start getting something going now if they're going to get back into this game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was a nice play to end the inning. Cut off any further damage, Josie Steinberg with that pickoff. But even so, 2 more runs. It's now 4-0. It's the top of the lineup. It's Casper now who's pitching at the plate. so she can help herself out here. They need base runners. They still haven't recorded a hit.
First pitch in from Wolf was taken outside for ball 1.
So between Ozawa and Wolf,
Yes.
Scarsdale is putting together a no-hitter here, only 1 walk. So,
and that one for ball 2. Getting ahead in the count is Casper. And that one taken high now, so 3-0 count. Steven, at this point in the game, does she get the green light? They're down 4. They need base runners. Well, they need base runners, so maybe she does take.
I'm not giving her the green light here. They need base runners. Be patient as Casper takes ball 4 and runs over to first base. You know, one swing isn't going to change this game yet, so Mamaroneck trying to start a sustained rally here as Scarsdale coach gathers his infielders at the mound now.
Coach Scagnelli maybe trying to, I don't know. He's shouting to his outfielders now too. I guess just trying to make sure everyone's prepared to make sure there's no big rally.
And it'll be Mia Steinberg up in the 3 spot here, batting now. She lined out to third base her first time, but she is a big hitter here. It'll definitely be, Mamaroneck will definitely need her as part of this comeback, should it ensue.
Steinberg steps in with Coach Scagnelli back in the dugout, and we're ready to go. And that one low. So 5 straight balls here to start the inning from Wolf. She's got to regain some composure here to make sure this doesn't get out of hand.
I think this is a situation where you're holding until you take a strike and there's another ball.
Right.
So
just waiting for her to throw a strike, essentially. This time it looks like the umpire calls time for himself just to readjust his mask. And that one is in for a strike. So after 6 straight balls, Wolf finally gets one over. So 2-1 to Steinberg hitters count, 2-1 of the Tigers better hitters.
Mm-hmm. And when Wolf is behind in the count.
And that one chopped by Steinberg to Waterhouse, and she throws it away. So that'll be Casper safe at second. It was a tough chopper to field off the bat of Steinberg, but she made the play, and she seemed to maybe have trouble with her footing between where the dirt ended and where the outfield grass began. She couldn't make the throw over. Casper may have beaten the throw anyway. But in the end, it's runners on first and second now for Emma Goldstein. A dream scenario for the Tigers. Exactly how you might draw it up.
Another break here from Mamaroneck. Looked like Waterhouse lost her footing or something, and then the throw couldn't be handled by James Lee.
First pitch in for a ball.
So runners at first and second now, really on a walk, and I guess we'll rule that an infield single.
Yeah, we'll give her the a generous score. And that one swung on a miss by Goldstein. 1-1 count now.
Big swing there from Goldstein. She walked her first time up. Was Mamaroneck's only base runner until this inning.
And that one taken in the dirt by Goldstein. 2-1 count.
And what I was saying before that last ground ball, Eli, was when Wolf is behind in the count, throwing a lot of balls, she can't necessarily use her off-speed pitches, which seem to have been very effective.
Right, and that one is popped up by Goldstein out of play for a 2-2 count now.
So when Wolf is ahead in the count, you know, those off-speed pitches can come into play because she's not pitching particularly fast, but when she's changing speeds, she's having some success now. So we'll see what she chooses here on this 2-2 pitch.
Goldstein swings and misses on that one. An off-speed pitch, just like you said, Steven. And that is for the first out of the inning.
And that's a huge out there. A strikeout, first out of the inning. Now we're going to Simon, and then kind of heading toward the bottom of the order. So big out there from Lauren Wolf, battling back.
And Eliza Simon, the third baseman, takes that first pitch in the dirt for ball 1. You know, Steven, if the Tigers do want to get this get back in this game as Simon hits one out to center field, and Casper tags, and she is safe at third, and Steinberg is able to advance on the throw. So a pop out from Simon, but a productive out, and she's able to get her runners over both. What I was saying, Stephen, is if the Tigers really do want to get back in this game, these are opportunities they can't blow. They've got to get at least a run, get on the board here.
And aggressive base running there on that tag up. A slightly stronger throw. I think she's out. Casper just slid under that tag. So now 2 runners in scoring position for Faiko.
And an intentional walk, it appears, but that first pitch made the catcher Vetrone sweat a little bit. So 1-0 on the intentional walk.
And this is a smart move from Scarsdale, I think. You're going to your 7, 8, 9 hitters after Faiko. Faiko has a lot of power. Could potentially even bring this game within 1 run with a single swing. You have the base open. So, smart move here, I think, by Scarsdale.
Although they are bringing to the plate now with the bases loaded, a veteran in Chelsea Rose. We'll see what she can do here now. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Casper on third, Steinberg on second, and Faiko on first base. And Coach Podolsky gives Rose some words of encouragement.
Rose, one of only 2 seniors on this team, and her leadership has been crucial for the team for the past 4 years. But this is a huge point, really, in her career.
And she fouls the first pitch off down the first base side.
As in this playoff game, first round action, on the brink of a tough deficit to climb out of.
And Rose loops that one again down the first baseline into foul territory. So she's a little late on the first 2 pitches from Wolf. Now this is kind of a perfect opportunity for Wolf to maybe come in with that off-speed pitch up in the count. Let's see if Chelsea Rose is anticipating something like that. And that one is taken outside for ball 1, so 1-2 now.
So it's Faiko off first, Steinberg off second, and Casper off third.
And Rose grounds at second base, and it goes through her legs! And 1 run comes in. Casper scores from third. Every runner advances. Rose on first, Faiko on second, Steinberg to third. As I attempted my best Vince Scully impression, it didn't go so well. But 2 outs now for Sydney Naftalin, the second baseman. Base is still loaded, 4-1 now.
And a big break there. Juliet Jamesley providing Mamaroneck. Looked like it was going to be a ground ball to end the inning there. Mm-hmm. Rose beat out the throw from Ozawa once it trickled through her legs. They maintain bases loaded. They score on a run here, keep the rally alive.
And that one, after a first pitch ball in the dirt, Neflin fouls back behind home plate. And that ball went through the legs of a fielder who, at least through the first few innings, had flashed some leather, made some nice plays. So an uncharacteristic play from Jamesley at second base. That one taken for a ball as well from Naftalin. 2-1 now, ahead in the count. And that one hit by Naftalin down the left field line, just foul. That could have been real trouble for the Raiders.
Yeah,
that would have fallen in.
Didn't make great contact, but that ball was tailing away. If it just fell in and kind of trickled away, that at least 2 runs probably scoring there. So
2-2 now to Naftalin. And Wolf is just 1 strike away from getting out of this inning with relatively unscathed. And Naftalin just stays alive, fouls that one back behind home plate.
Good job there, just staying alive here, fouling that pitch off, trying to make Wolf throw extra pitches, maybe make a mistake. Kind of all Naftalin can do now to try to keep this at-bat alive.
And the off-speed pitch, real off-speed pitch there, Steve, is taken outside. So 3-2 count, 2 outs. bases loaded. Do we see the runners in motion here?
Well, we'll have to see if they can start it going, but you'd think that would happen.
They are in motion on the pitch, and Naplin swings through an off-speed pitch from Wolf, who gets out of the jam relatively unscathed through 4 here at Central Elementary School. It is 4-1 Raiders. We'll be back with the 5th inning after this. And we're back for the top of the 5th inning, and Stephen, we're experiencing a bit of a Willis Reed moment here as Gianna Magrino, the freshman ace for the Tigers, who, as far as we were concerned, was not an option for this game, is out on the mound for the Tigers.
Yeah, and she looked very good in warm-ups. Couldn't really tell from those pitches that anything was hurting, throwing very fast. Now, I mean, we'll have to talk to the coach after the game to see kind of what was going on. Maybe, you know, she said she wanted to come in, or she felt she was feeling better. We don't really know. But obviously big here. It's only a 3-run game, so 3-run game, excuse me.
The first pitch is in for a strike. You know, Stephen, it may just be a last-ditch effort from the Tigers. I don't think they can really afford to give up any more runs. And that one fouled off, so Magrino quickly ahead in the count, 0-2 on Hankoff. That one just inside, taking 1-2 now.
Just missed there. Looked like strike 3 from over here, but it's true we don't have the best angle.
And that one fouled off.
For these Raiders hitters, definitely an adjustment here. The velocity is much different motion. She's really winding up, Magrino is, and firing this ball in there. So it's someone they didn't really expect to see today, or maybe initially they did, but.
And that one in the dirt, a nice pick by Steinberg behind the plate, so 2-2. She also has a very pronounced pitching motion that, at least if I were in there batting, might distract me. And the 2-2 is fouled off again by Hankoff. So after falling behind in the count, she's got Magrino working.
Good job there by Hankoff. She's definitely late on it, but getting a piece of the bat on it, staying alive.
And that one again fouled off very late that time. But Hankoff stays alive. Count again, 2-2.
So a lot of excitement in this game, starting when some of the players couldn't even get here really on time with the traffic.
And that one just outside. Once again, looked pretty good from here. So a 3-2 count for Magrino. Emma Goldstein in center field, throwing out her arms, looked good to her, apparently. So 3-2 now to Hankoff. Stephen, you're right, a lot of excitement here today.
Some interesting scenarios on the base paths, and as you said, a little bit of a Willis Reed moment.
And that one fouled off just over the screen above home plate. Steinberg looking to maybe grab that one. And there could be a whole lot more excitement, Stephen, if the Tigers can put up a few more runs.
Hankoff scored a run the last time she made a plate appearance, reaching on a fielder's choice and then eventually coming around.
And she puts it by or fouled off into Steinberg's glove. It appeared Hankoff, I don't know, thought it, who knows. But a strikeout for Magrino, she had to work for it, but she puts it past Hankoff. So 1 out recorded, and Magrino looks good, Stephen.
Yeah, she looks very good. Initially getting ahead 2-0 and then maintaining composure as Hankoff battled back. She foul-tipped that one into the glove of Steinberg, so no need to run there to first base.
And that first pitch taken in the dirt. Thank you for clarifying, Stephen. I didn't do the best job of relaying whatever we just saw. That one right down the pipe for a strike. So it's 1-1 now. There's a certain confidence you just see from Magrino while she's up there. Some of that probably just has to do with the velocity of her pitches, but she really is somewhat imposing on the mound. And that one is put by Vitrone, so now it's a 1-2 count.
And Magrino still not really showing any signs of discomfort.
None at all. That one low, 2-2 count now.
Vitrone flew out her last time up and the runner tagged up, so she did get an RBI.
And that one just low. So another 3-2 count for Magrino. Not getting a lot of help from this home plate umpire, as far as we can tell.
And these extra pitches, especially for Army, is kind of hurting. Could be big. We obviously don't know how she's feeling.
And she puts another one away, Vitrone. So that's 2 strikeouts now for Magrino, coming on in relief.
Looked like she took a tiny bit off that one.
Yes.
Might have, yeah, so not a complete, you know, some of these slower pitches we've seen from Wolf or Ozawa, but a little bit something off there, which fooled Vitrone.
And now stepping to the plate is the cleanup hitter, Sarah Weintraub. And that one is high. For those of you at home who may not have noticed, Chelsea Rose moved from third base to second base, replacing Sydney Naftalin as Casper came off the mound back to third base. The 0-1 from Magrino. In for a swung on strike. And a 1-1 count now. The Raider hitters have not been able to touch her yet. The best they've been able to muster have been just a couple tips, foul balls that were late.
And this sort of appearance and coming on strong here.
And another strike.
And if, you know, if she can complete this quick inning, this is the type of thing that can really provide the team some momentum as they go back into, you know, trying to score some more runs as they hit again. You know, this is the type of thing in a playoff game, this sort of clutchness.
That one just inside, taken for a ball. 2-2 count now.
The sort of clutchness that really could spark a team, you know, and potentially rally them back. So we'll have to see if Magrino can keep it up. So far, very impressive on the mound.
Certainly. And Magrino comes on and strikes at the side. 3 straight strikeouts for Magrino, coming on in relief through 4.5. It is 4-1 Raiders. We'll be back with the bottom half of this inning after a break. And we're back here for the bottom of the 5th. Right fielder Patricia Muratori coming up to the plate. Looking to hopefully take the momentum that was just gained by Magrino coming on in that inning and transferring it into some offense for the Tigers. And the first pitch swinging right up the middle from Muratori. So that gives the Tigers a base runner.
Yeah, some sort of magic with the words here. A little bit prescient. That a nice ground ball base hit past James Lee up the middle. And now the Tigers have a runner on first. They have the top of the lineup up.
Josie Steinberg, the catcher, freshman, stepping to the plate. And Steinberg first pitch swinging, but right to James Lee. A soft hit line drive, and Muratori had to rush back quick to get back to the bag on the throw.
And if Steinberg had a little bit more elevation on that, it might have kind of fallen in over James Lee's head. So she jumped up and reached out of the sky to grab that one. Nice play there for the first out. And now Tava Casper.
Stephen, definitely some aggressiveness from the Tigers as that first pitch is taken low for a ball. Some aggressiveness from the Tigers, first pitch swinging and putting 2 balls into play.
And Wolf continuing with this diet of off-speed pitches to Casper.
1-1 now, that ball in for a called strike.
Although really compared to Magrino, it seems like all of her pitches, even
Absolutely.
her fastballs are off-speed pitches.
And that one taken outside by Casper, so 2-1 ahead in the count. See if she can get herself something to hit.
She is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored, in addition to a strikeout in the first inning.
And another ball, so 3-1.
Hitters count. Casper hoping to connect with the one here.
And that one is taken for ball 4, so that one a little high and outside. So now 2 runners on for Mia Steinberg, who, if I'm not mistaken, singled her last time up, giving the Tigers their first hit of the day.
Yes, that would be correct.
And now Raiders coach Dave Scagnelli is out there for a visit to the mound. Trying to make sure that Wolf on the mound, mentally at least, is there and won't let this spiral.
And now Muratori on second base and Casper off of first are also discussing perhaps strategy or
Other
something
things.
else.
Yeah,
We don't know.
You never know.
As the Raiders continue to huddle on the rubber. So it's been a mix of aggressiveness going after these first pitches and patience with that walk now. So the Tigers can't try to do too much, but they are in a very good position here. They're down by 3, have the tying run at the plate now.
And that ball taken outside, so Wolf again having some control issues, which she had last inning. 1-0 to Steinberg. And Steinberg ropes one into the gap over the right field. That's going to drive in Muratori. Casper right behind her, and Steinberg with a stand-up triple, driving in 2. And now, Steven, we have a ball game.
That we do, Eli. Great piece of hitting there by Mia Steinberg, the third hitter, and a big leader on this team out into right field. She didn't try to pull it or do too much with it. A nice line drive going all the way to the wall. We had Muratori coming in. She reached on the single, first pitch of the inning, starting it off. Now she comes around to score, and right behind her, Tava Casper, who reached on the walk. And now it's a 1-run game with the cleanup hitter and a runner on third.
Goldstein, aggressive, takes a big hack and just fouls it off behind her. Just missed, really, with Steinberg on third. Just 1 out for the Raiders.
So what a turn of events. You know, going into the top of the 5th, it was a 4-0 game.
And Goldstein gets a hold of one, and it's caught by the center fielder Stanfeld, and some confusion. That should have been an easy run to score. And Steinberg is called out. Some miscommunication on the tag. Should have been an easy run in, but she is thrown out at home plate, and that'll do it for this Tigers rally in the bottom of the 5th. Put some runs on the board for the Tigers, and we're headed to the 6th after this.
So we're back here. A lot to digest on that last play.
So base running hijinks, Steven.
Yes. So we had the tying run on third base. That was Mia Steinberg. And Emma Goldstein drove one out to right center field. And Mia Steinberg did not initially tag up. So she was just running home. And really, she would have scored easily. So really no reason to there. But she did not tag up. Then she ran back, sprinting back, did tag up after the ball was caught, and then kind of running in between, and she hesitated before really committing to going home, and on the relay was thrown out. So a huge base running blunder. I mean, that's the tying run right there.
Well described, Steven. I'll give you credit because that was confusing, but absolutely. Basically, they just gifted the Raiders a run. But an impressive show of just some momentum going the Tigers' way. They're right back in this game. They've got 2 more at-bats left, and they've got their best. They've got the race on the mound. It's not a bad position to be in.
And she deals Gianna Magrino a strike to Mia Carroll.
Of course, Magrino came on last inning and struck out the side. Still looking strong now.
So obviously that's the point we're going to be looking back to if Mamaroneck can't complete this comeback.
Absolutely.
And that was a ball. Carroll was showing bunt, but pulled it back. So now 1-1 is the count. Here's the pitch. Swung and a missed by Carroll.
She's throwing straight gas, Steven, no other way to put it. These Raiders batters who were seeing some more off-speed stuff earlier in the game, just not able to catch up with these fastballs from Magrino. She's once again ahead in the count.
So it'll be a 1-2 now. Magrino ready into our windup and deals. Swing and a miss, but the ball is dropped by Josie Steinberg. The throw down to first. Not in time, so another drop third strike for the Tigers, and Carroll's on base.
So a fourth strikeout recorded now for Magrino, but that one won't count for an out. And this would happen, I think, in the second inning, Steven, if I'm not mistaken. And it cost the Tigers.
I think it was the third.
Okay, it cost the Tigers then. Let's hope, for their sake at least, that it does not cost them again.
Here's the pitch from Magrino. Tava Casper sprinting in from third base, expecting the bunt from Lauren Wolf, who singled her last time up. She's 1 for 2. She scored on a wild pitch in the fourth inning and is obviously pitching on the mound on the other side of the ball. Pulls back from the bunt, and there's the second ball, so ball 2. Mia Carroll on first base. Wolf trying to sacrifice her over for some insurance for herself. Showing bunt again. This time she lays it down. And there's Magrino recording the out at first base. And the sacrifice is successful. Carroll on to second.
And there was some apparent frustration there from Magrino on the mound as Wolf was attempting to bunt a couple pitches. And she felt there was nothing she could do. Every pitch she threw was being taken for a ball. She felt that Wolf was leaning out over the plate and that she really had no place to throw. But ultimately, Wolf lays down the bunt and is thrown out at first to sacrifice the runner over.
So now 1 out and a runner on second base, and there is a strike. Those pitches are just humming in there, Eli.
There's nothing these Raiders batters can do right now. The only way they're getting on base is if they strike out and hope the catcher drops the ball.
Right, and now trying to manufacture a run. Here's Julia Jamesley, the second baseman, in an 0-1 hole right now. And here's the pitch. And a steal, and she's thrown out. Josie Steinberg throwing out the runner. That was Mia Carroll trying to reach third, thrown out.
A real heads-up play from Steinberg as Casper was moving in to, I guess, field a bunt. And so there was no one covering third until Steinberg got over. She beat the runner, and the throw beat Carroll coming in. She tagged her out. Great heads-up baseball.
So the Steinberg connection there, that was Josie, sorry for the confusion, but Josie was the catcher, the freshman, and the junior Mia Steinberg running over. So it was heads up by Carroll seeing Casper running in. Maybe that was a play designed by Scarsdale, but Steinberg was all over it. And Jamesley fouls that one off.
So, I mean, total turn of events. You had a runner on second with just 1 out, Steven. And now Magrino is just 1 strike away from getting out of this inning.
So Scarsdale was really trying to put small ball into effect all the way, but it did not work out there. It's now 2-2 with 2 outs. Jamesley is 2 for 2 with 2 singles on the day. Here's the pitch. Grounded off the first base line and in. The throw coming into first base from right field. And it is not in time, and it gets past Faiko. So a single, third hit of the day for Jamesley. And now the Tigers are lucky that they did catch Carroll stealing. Otherwise, that would have been a run.
Jamesley, the first Raider to be able to get anything off of Magrino. And she really has been hitting all day. She's been the most consistent batter for the Raiders.
So a ball to Sophie Hodges. With 2 outs and a runner on first, the score is 4-3 in the top of the 6th. Scarsdale, and there's a high pitch, snagged by Josie Steinberg, the catcher.
A potentially important snag. If that one had gotten away, you're looking at a runner on second again and a single away from adding another run. But an impressive snag from Steinberg.
Magrina there, putting some dirt on her hands and then throwing it down in disgust.
Definitely frustrated, and I would too if I were pitching and some of these pitches she's throwing were being called balls. Very tight strike zone all of a sudden from this home plate umpire.
And Hodges takes her first strike of this at-bat. So 3-1 is the count to Hodges. She's the DP, designated player. She reached on a bunt last time up. We gave her the infield single on that bunt. No throw was made. Here's the pitch from Magrino. High for ball 4. So now a walk. Jamesley advances on to second. And suddenly a little bit of a rally here. Runner in scoring position as Josie Steinberg goes out to talk with Magrino.
Absolutely, Stephen. An inning that's gone on a batter too long is another drop third strike. Yet to cost the Tigers, but absolutely keeping the Raiders out here batting and keeping these Tigers fielders on the field.
So lots of coaches providing counsel to their players. We have both Scarsdale coaches out talking with the runners here as Josie Steinberg talks with Magrino. 2 freshmen there, the freshman battery.
An impressive freshman duo that should serve this team as their leaders and their stars for a few years to come.
So now here's Carolina Steinfeld. Here's the pitch. There's a strike. Steinfeld reached in the 3rd inning on a drop third strike. Now we have another one here in the 6th. We'll have to see how that turns out. She also had reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th inning. And there's another strike, so 0-2, Magrino ahead.
2 quick strikes from Magrino to get out in front. And now, despite the jam, despite the drop third strike, she's just 1 strike away from getting out of this and getting her team back up at the plate to try and get another run. Go ahead, Steve.
Runner on first and second. 0-2 count here. Here's the pitch. That's high for a ball. Steinfeld is the 9th batter here in the order, playing center field. And here's the 1-2. Fouled off on the first base side, hitting the visitors' dugout.
That visitors' dugout screen, Stephen, has taken a beating since Magrino came on the mound. Since really the only contact the Raiders have made have just been foul balls straight onto there, late on every pitch.
Outside of James Lee's single, which also she was late on that one too. And there's a foul tip. So Steinberg cannot hold on to it. That would have been a strikeout if she could, but once she dropped it, it wasn't a drop third strike, rather just another foul ball. So 2 runners on base, 1-run game here. So Scarsdale trying for some insurance in this top of the 6th. And here's Steinfeld at the plate, 1-2 count. And she lines it, and Faiko drops the ball, now flipping, but it was a foul ball, alas.
Called foul. It was interesting because Faiko, her body at least was in fair territory, but it did appear she reached out across the first base line into foul territory and just couldn't hold on to that ball. So another fortunate break for the Tigers. An impressive call from the field umpire all the way on the other side of the field, but a call that could really, really help the Tigers.
But another out, Mamaroneck kind of giving away there, should this at-bat go awry, as Faiko should have held on to that ball. It was hit hard by Steinfeld. So another 1-2, here's the pitch. And once again, lined out of play off the first base line. So Gianna Magrino in her second inning of work, 4 strikeouts recorded already after not starting the game due to some arm soreness. And here's the 1-2. Once again, fouled off, out of play.
In the way that Magrino's pitched, you have to wonder what they're thinking in that Tigers dugout. Wondering if maybe she should have been on the mound from the start. But they are getting something out of her today, and that, at least thus far, has been incredibly important for this team, keeping them in this game. They're only a run out right now.
So another 1-2, Stainfeld doing a great job of staying alive. And here's the pitch, and she grounds it to first base, Faiko, and then the second baseman Rose now with the putout. So ultimately, no runs on 1 hit and 1 runner left on base. We're going to the bottom half of the 6th inning here on LMC TV. So we're back here at Central Field, 4-3 Scarsdale. Now going to the bottom half of the 6th inning after Emma Goldstein recorded that last out, and then Mia Steinberg was caught trying to tag up. Now it's Eliza Simon, the 5th hitter, and she takes another ball, so 2-0, patient to start out. A base runner obviously here is the tying run. And now she takes a strike. Simon is the DP. She flew out to right field in the 2nd inning, and there's a ground ball to third base. There's the throw in time for the first out. Sarah Reintraub recording that first out across the diamond, score at 5-3.
So Steven, if I'm not mistaken, Magrino should replace Naftalin in the batting order, and she is 2 spots away with Faiko coming up. That could be important for this team.
And there's a ball to Jess Faiko. She was intentionally walked her last time at the plate. And here's the pitch. Another ball. 2-0 now to Faiko. Here's the pitch. That is hopped up into foul territory and dropped by Nia Carroll. And Faiko is a very powerful hitter, so that would have been a good opportunity for Scarsdale to get off to 2 quick outs here, but instead Faiko remains alive. 2-1.
And another wasted out between the 2 teams. We've seen a lot today, and Faiko.
And now it is popped up to center field and caught by Stainfeld out in center.
She got a good hold of that pitch, but was just underneath it and couldn't quite drive it like she probably would have hoped to.
So now Chelsea Rose, 2 quick outs recorded by Scarsdale. And there's a ball. So obviously big opportunity here for Rose, trying to start off a little bit of a rally. Otherwise it'll only be last licks in the 7th. And she lines one in for a base hit to right field. The throw does not come in from Ozawa. And just as I was saying, Eli, now a little bit of life here with 2 outs.
Absolutely, and now stepping to the plate, Steven, is Magrino. And as you mentioned before, she was a big part of this lineup when she was healthy. So you'd think now this is one of the few batters, or not the few batters, but one of the batters you would like to have up in this situation to keep this rally going.
Absolutely, and I think that's not a coincidence that the Scarsdale coach now comes out to talk to his team as we wait for a moment. So it'll be Chelsea Rose off of first base when we resume. Gianna Magrino in for Sydney Naftalin. So this is her first at-bat. Magrino really responsible for this shift in momentum when she came back in the 5th inning I believe, to pitch. And she takes ball 1. So after 2 innings of pitching from Megumi Ozawa, it's been Lauren Wolf for the last 4. As
she's given up all 3 Scarsdale runs, but overall has looked strong, has had some issues with control at times, but overall has pitched a pretty strong few innings.
So it's a 1-1 count now. Wolf to Magrino. Here's the pitch. Hopped up to shortstop Waterhouse, makes the catch to end the inning. So 1 hit, no runs, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We'll go to the top of the 7th here. It's 4-3 Scarsdale. We'll be right back on LMC TV. So we're back here at Central Field for the last inning of play, unless we do have extra innings. Scarsdale taking on Mamaroneck. Scarsdale, the 11 seed, Mamaroneck, the 6th. The winner of this first round of playoff game will play Yorktown or Clarkstown South, depending on who wins, in the quarterfinal round. It's 4-3 right now. Scarsdale up at the plate will be the top of the lineup. Kaylee Waterhouse, the shortstop. And Scarsdale obviously trying to get some insurance. And here is the first pitch.
Magrino now on for her 3rd inning of work. She looks just as strong as she did when she came out. No telling if she's letting any soreness, basically fighting through that, or if she's really just feeling fine, but she looks great thus far.
And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Waterhouse could not catch up with that one, excuse me. So 1-1 now.
And the energy Magrino has brought to the field and her team is kind of flowing into the Mamaroneck crowd here, and they're really energized from the way she's throwing.
And here's the pitch. Hopped up to second base. Chelsea Rose is there, and she makes the catch for the first out in the top of the 7th. So now Magrino gathering herself again. It'll be Olivia Henkoff, who was the first batter she faced in the 5th inning when she came in, and she struck her out promptly. And here's the pitch. There's a strike. Whizzing in there.
Are some strikes nicer than other strikes, Stephen?
Absolutely. At least based on our call of them, I think one could tell. So here's an 0-1 pitch. That one high. Rising up out of the strike zone. 1-0 now. 1 out. Henkoff, the center fielder. That's second. And here's the pitch showing bunt. She pops it up, and Josie Steinberg makes the catch. A nice play, reaching out kind of over her shoulder and recording the second out here.
I mean, at this point, I think that's a better mode of attempting to get on base for these Raiders than just trying to swing and hit anything Magrino's throwing at them, because right now she is having no trouble just mowing down these Raider batters.
So now 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Here's Abby Vitrone, the catcher. Swing and a miss. And definitely some more energy building here as Magrino really has brought the team back into this game and is mowing these hitters down. Here's the 0-1, and that one is lined out into right field, and it's a fair ball. Vitrone going to second, and she's being waved to third, but she holds up. The throw relayed into third, so it's a double for Abby Vitrone. So just as we're talking about Magrino's kind of easy success here, now a double going opposite field is Vitrone. A nice piece of hitting there. And Scarsdale has a runner in scoring position.
We did notice on that one, Vitrone, so she doubles. She has her head down coming to second base. She missed the go sign to come to third base from her coach at third. You know, with 1 out, or 2 outs now, excuse me, she's probably scoring on a single anyway, running off any contact. But you'd much rather have her at third base than on second.
So now the cleanup hitter, Sarah Weintraub, the third baseman, huge at bat here. Runner on second, 1-run game. Here's the pitch. Fouled right back. 0-1. So Vitrone with the double. That's her first hit of the day. 4 at-bats for her. Weintraub has singled. She also struck out and flew out to center field. And it'll be an 0-1. And here's the pitch, lined into right field again. Vitrone being waved home. Here's the throw to the plate, and she is out, standing up. So a nice play there by Muratori, throwing the ball in, cutting off that run. So 2 hits in that inning, and ultimately only 1 runner left on base. No runs scored for Scarsdale, and now we're going to the bottom half of the 7th inning here. The season's on the line for Mamaroneck when we come back on LMC TV. So we're back here at Central Field, 4-3. Scarsdale going into the bottom of the 7th as Wolf and her Scarsdale teammates in the infield rally around her, huddling together. And up at the plate, Eli, is Patricia Muratori.
And Steven, if you will remember, in the 5th inning, it was Muratori who kicked off that rally, bringing it to the top of the order with a single, and that's what sparked that rally. She's first pitch swinging here, fouls that one off.
So it'll be an 0-1 after that foul off. Muratori is the other Mamaroneck senior on the softball team besides Rose, and she pops that one up, this time to the first baseman, who catches it. Mia Carroll recording the first out, big out there. And now it'll be the top of the lineup, Josie Steinberg. 2 outs left in this Mamaroneck season, potentially, Eli.
Yeah, it's do or die time, Steven. Someone goes without saying, but the Tigers really got to get going now if they want to make this a game.
And obviously, among kind of the other mistakes we've talked about, that biggest one is Mia Steinberg being caught, thrown out, trying to tag up there.
Absolutely, that's a mistake that right now has to be looming large, and will loom large if the Tigers can't figure out a way to get back in this game.
But her sister has an opportunity here to start this rally off. It's an 0-1 count. And here's the pitch. Line drive over the head of Ozawa in right field. Josie Steinberg to second, and now rounding second into third. She's sliding in. An overthrow here, but she'll stay at third. So Josie Steinberg with a huge triple. It was over the head, a line drive over the head of Megumi Ozawa, who jumped and could not get it. So a triple here for Josie Steinberg, and your tying run, Eli, is on third base with 1 out.
Can you say spark plug, Steven? Because that is what Josie Steinberg is. She cracked that one into right field. Ozawa was playing too shallow and really had no other option than to just jump at it. She wasn't getting back on that ball. It was hit too hard. Over her head, Steinberg into third base, and now an opportunity for the Tigers to tie the game.
And here's the pitch. Popped into center field. Tagging up is Josie Steinberg. Here's the throw, and she is safe. So a tying run from Tava Casper, RBI, and Josie Steinberg tagging up to score. We have ourselves a ball game here, Eli. 2 outs now, and no runners on, but a 4-4 game.
Steven, you're exactly right. We do have a ball game, and now coming up is Mia Steinberg, who the last time we saw her, on offense at least, was making that base running mistake. She now has an opportunity to avenge that error. We'll see what she can do.
And there's a ball.
Talk about a turn of events though, Steven. We had 1 out. Josie Steinberg, that is behind in the count. She then cracks that triple to right field, and on the next pitch, Tava Casper sac fly drives her in, and we're tied up.
And there's a strike. Mia Steinberg gesticulating. She did not agree with that call. So now 1-1. So a lot of excitement here at Central Field. It's been a back and forth game. A lot of storylines to cover here, Eli. And we still don't know the outcome. And we potentially could be playing more. We'll have to see if the Tigers can mount a 2-out game-winning rally. Here's the 2-1, and that's grounded to third base. Weintraub over to first, and that's the inning. So we've played 7 complete, and it's back to 4-4, a tie game. So a huge hit there from Josie Steinberg, the triple, and she's knocked in by Casper, tagging up. After 7 innings, it's 4-4. We're going to extra innings now. We'll be back on LMC TV. So we are back here. We're playing extra innings, Eli. Top of the 8th now, 4-4. Gianna Magrino, the freshman ace, who initially did not start the game because of an injury, has kind of miraculously healed herself, it seems. And she has really delivered in a big way.
Steven, I'm amazed just by the way this game has gone. So much excitement. Steven, if you can't appreciate a game like this, if this doesn't get you jacked up, I know you're not a sports fan and you may not have a pulse. This is great stuff.
Absolutely. So, an exciting rally after the Josie Steinberg triple, and then reaching home on the flyout. So now top of the 8th here, it's going to be Mia Carroll and extra innings. So whoever scores first now, well, we'll still have the bottom half. But here's the strike.
Steven, it's free baseball right now. It's free baseball. No one paid to get in here, but they're getting extra baseball that no one paid for. Great stuff.
So it'll be an 0-1 now to Carroll, and she shows bunt, popping it up, and it's a foul ball. Scarsdale bench not happy with that call.
On a play like that, I'm surprised to see Steinberg try to grab the foul ball. Ordinarily, with the runner that far down the line, you'd wait to see it go foul. Now some confusion.
It looked like the Scarsdale coaches are arguing that, but I don't think they will be quite successful.
Per usual, arguments like those, they come away with no avail.
So it'll be an 0-1 now. Gianna Magrino on the mound, dealing to Mia Carroll, who has walked, popped out to short, and reached base after a dropped third strike. And she took a ball there, so it'll be 1-2. I think I messed up the count earlier. It'll be 1-2. Another ball. 2-2 now. Leading off this 8th inning. And we might have, players might have come in late due to the traffic, but they are not leaving early, I'll say that much. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Straight gas from Magrino. She has just been unbelievable since she has come on. Really impressive. A gutsy performance.
5 strikeouts in 10 outs, wow. I believe. Right?
3 1/3, yeah.
Yeah. And here is Lauren Wolf, who is her counterpart on the mound. And pops it up. Josie Steinberg is there, reaching out to make the catch.
And you know what? Magrino on the mound says, "You're gonna make that easy for me? Fine by me. Fine by me."
So now 2 quick outs. A definite feel in the shift of momentum once again. Kind of securely on Mamaroneck's side now. 2 outs in the top of the 8th. It'll be Jamesley now, who's 3 for 3. And she takes a ball.
You know what, Steven, you said it exactly right. The momentum that was with the Raiders, really for probably the first 5 innings of this game, has slowly dwindled, and it now is solely on the side of the Tigers.
So it'll be a 1-0. And there's another ball. It will be 2-0 now. 2 outs to Julia Jamesley. 3 singles, 1 run scored on the day. Here's the pitch from Magrino. That's a line drive, base hit to center field. Goldstein realizes it into Mia Steinberg, So 4 hits for Julia Jamesley, and with 2 outs now, a runner on base. So Scarsdale still alive in the top half of the 8th.
I'm sitting here wondering why Jamesley was batting 7th in the order, Steven. She's been the team's best hitter all day. And really the only one, if I'm not mistaken, to be able to get anything off of Magrino since she came in.
Let's check that. I think that's correct. Oh, well, we did have Abby Vitrone with a double in the 7th. There's a ball high to Sophie Hodges, the DP. 4-4 here in the top of the 8th. Hodges at the plate. Jamesley off of first base. And that ball is also high. 2-0 now. And here's the pitch. High, 3-0.
You can tell Magrino frustrated. She gave up that single to Jamesley. Wishes she was just out of this inning right now, as her catcher Steinberg now comes out to calm her down a little bit.
Hodges did walk her last time at the plate in the 6th. And now in the 8th, she has Jamesley on first base and a 3-0 count. And Eli, are you giving her the green light here?
Absolutely not, Steven. And evidently, Coach Dave Scagnili was not as well.
So it'll now be a 3-1 hitters count, 2 outs. So Jamesley should be running on contact. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 4. So Jamesley on to second. Hodges walks her second walk. And now the 9th hitter, Carolina Steinfeld.
Who herself has been on the base paths a few times, but I'm not sure how many hits she has, but she reached, I know, on the drop third strike, and at another point, she's been all over the base paths.
And here's the pitch, there's a strike. So kind of a microcosm of this game. Just when you think something is sure, Eli, we had 2 quick outs from Magrino. All of a sudden, a single, then a walk, 2 runners on base. And after Steinfeld, the top of the lineup. So Scarsdale, and now as Steinfeld bunts that one foul.
Absolutely, Steven. When you're working with 2 teams like these, the Tigers and the Raiders, all bets are off. Conventionality, throw it out the window.
So 2 outs, 2 runners on, and 2 strikes to number 2, Carolina Steinfeld. Here's the pitch, and there's a ball. Josie Steinberg faking a throw over to second base, trying to catch Jamesley off, but
Jamesley was daring her to throw, really. She was very far off the bag. As second base needs to be tended to a little bit.
So it'll be a 1-2 count to Carolina Steinfeld. As you said, she reached her first time on a drop third strike and then on a fielder's choice, and then popped out to Chelsea Rose, her last time at the plate. Here's the pitch. That ball is popped into the air, and Muratori makes the catch to end the inning. So no runs, 1 hit, and 2 men left on base. So we're going to the bottom half of the 8th here on LMC TV. So we are back here at Central Field, the bottom half of the 8th inning, extra innings. The game is tied 4-4, and it'll be the Tigers' cleanup hitter, Emma Goldstein, up first, then Eliza Simon, and then Eli Jess Faiko.
Yes, and Steven, at the end of last inning, if I eavesdropped upon Coach Dave Scagnili well, which I think I did, he muttered to himself, "We shouldn't be here," and he really, it appears at least, would feel that they should have been out of this game. They made a couple mistakes, the Raiders, that the Tigers should not be in this, or that they should not be in this position with the Tigers. And he's right, but we're here now, bottom of the 8th, and the Tigers have a chance to win it right here.
And here's the pitch. There's a strike. there was, if I remember correctly, a big error that led to some, here's the pitch, chopped weakly to Wolf, who makes the play, so 1 out.
That was another one of Wolf's patented off-speed pitches that Goldstein was just way out in front of. She just, as you said, weakly chopped it to the mound.
Anyway, perhaps the Scagnelli was referring to maybe that error and a few other miscues. But anyway, 1 out now in the bottom half of the 8th. And Eliza Simon takes a ball. Here's the pitch. Another ball. 2-0. So after 2 innings of work from Megumi Ozawa, it's been Lauren Wolf all the way since for Scarsdale. And there's a strike. 2-1 is the count to Simon, who is 0 for 3 on the day. And there's a ball. 3-1 now.
Hitters count for Simon. If I'm her, I'm sitting back and waiting for my pitch to hit, and hopefully it's here and she can put a ball in play.
Here's the pitch. Corkscrewed to the first baseman, who makes the catch.
So she did put a swing on it that time, but it appeared to be a spinning off-speed pitch, and she really just nubbed it down the first baseline to the first baseman. But Steven, now we have Jess Faiko coming up to the plate. And in between innings, I had a chance to look at my softball encyclopedia and find out that she hit a walk-off home run.
And that is a line drive caught by the Scarsdale left fielder. What a play from Olivia Henkoff, a screaming liner. So that'll end the inning, 1-2-3. And we're playing more softball, excuse me. We'll be back here with the top of the 9th on LMC TV. So we are back here now in the top of the 9th after a full extra inning. It's still 4-4, and Gianna Magrino is still on the mound.
To finish my thought from before, Steven, Jess Faiko had hit a walk-off home run in a first-round playoff game 2 years ago, and as she stepped to the plate, that came to my mind.
And there's a line drive caught by Mia Steinberg. Nice jumping play there for the first out. Kaylee Waterhouse is retired.
A very nice play from Steinberg. She didn't really have to move from her spot, but she definitely had to jump up and get her glove on that one. Big first out for Magrino.
And now Olivia Henkoff will come to the plate. And she grounds it weakly back to Magrino, who deals over to first base, Faiko, for the second out.
2 very quick outs for Gianna Willis-Reed Magrino, as the fans around us are beginning to clamor.
We've also heard comparisons to Kurt Schilling, although there's no bloody sock here, but also battling through some pain here. And there's a strike to Abby Vitrone. Vitrone in the 7th inning had a big double, also with 2 outs, Eli.
Absolutely, and Steven, if you remember, she missed that sign to come to third base, and that ultimately cost her when she was thrown out at home plate.
There's the ball. So it'll be a 1-1 count now to Vitrone. And there's a line drive to Chelsea Rose. So a quick inning. 1, 2, 3 go the top 3 hitters of Scarsdale. And now we're going to the bottom of the 9th here on LMC TV. So we are back here on LMC TV here at Central Field. It's the bottom of the 9th inning, still 4-4. And now up to the plate is Chelsea Rose.
And Steven, as legendary hockey coach Herb Brooks once said, great moments are born from great opportunity, and darn it if this is not a great opportunity, I've never seen one. This is an opportunity.
The season
here.
On the line for both teams. This is the 3rd time they've played each other. And there's a chopper up the middle and a base hit for Chelsea Rose, seizing that opportunity, Eli. A single for her, a senior leader. In the last 2 at-bats, she has singled.
Steven, she walked up to the plate, looked the pitcher in the eye, and said, "Carpe diem, seize the day." And that's exactly what she did.
And now, Eli, it's no longer Sydney Naftalin, but Gianna Magrino up to bat. Magrino obviously has come in and completely changed the tenor of this game as she came in and the pitcher in the 5th inning.
Magrino now with a real opportunity to make her mark on this game. And a base running move from Rose. Wow.
Chelsea Rose, she was daring the throw in from the catcher Vitrone. The throw came to first and it trickled past. And Rose is now on second base with a stolen base. That was a gutsy play.
A veteran play, Steven.
So now a runner in scoring position, no men out. We might have to expect a bunt here potentially. Some small ball. The Tigers need Chelsea Rose to come to score, and that's it to advance to the next round of the playoffs.
You know, Steven, I don't know. Ordinarily, I would agree with you in this situation, but when you've got a batter like that in Magrino up there, I think you let her swing away, and then when you get someone, you know, coming up next like Muratori, and then you're at the top of your lineup, those are the people you let bunt. But I think you don't want to take the bat out of the hands of a dangerous hitter like Magrino.
That's a very good point, and especially if maybe she can drive it opposite field, or even if she makes an out on the right side of the infield, Rose might be able to advance anyway. So everyone is huddled up here on the mound, and then you have Magrino and Chelsea Rose with Coach Allison Badowski. So a risky play there from Rose, daring the throw from Vitrone and advancing to second on a stolen base. And now there's 1 ball on the count for Gianna Magrino. Here's the pitch. And there is a bunt. And the throw to first is in time. Rose advances to third.
Steven, I'm going to contradict myself here. As I saw it go down and I looked at the situation in front of me, that was the right play. Because now you have 2 opportunities, one with just 1 out, to get your runner in. If Patricia Muratori does anything here, you know, pop up, and obviously a hit would do it, you're going to score that run. The infield does move in for Scarsdale.
Yeah, so the infield in, this is Patricia Muratori. Now the first senior on this team, Chelsea Rose, who also started the game on the mound. She singled, now she's on third, and she could be knocked in by the other senior, Eli, here. It's 4-4 in the bottom of the 9th, extra innings. And Muratori takes the first pitch for a ball. So 1 out and 1-0 count. And that ball is popped up, and Carroll cannot get there. It bounces off the fence, it looked like.
Wow, Steven, another fortunate occurrence and a long line of fortunate occurrences here for the Tigers. That was a number. It was popped off the end of the bat. Muratori barely got anything on it, and it just caught the siding of the fence, making Carroll at first base incapable of catching that ball.
So the infield is in, it's a 1-1 count, Wolf deals. And that's a ball. 2-1 now. Patricia Muratori, the right fielder. Rose is on third base, that is the winning run. 7 innings, or 8 innings even, not enough to decide this game. And there's a pitch, that's a base hit! And Mamaroneck has won. Chelsea Rose comes in to score. Patricia Muratori with a single, and Mamaroneck is now mobbing Muratori, greeting her with the game-winning hit, the line drive base hit to right field. Rose reached base with the single, and what a game, Eli.
Steven, big-time players make big-time plays, and that is exactly what Patricia Muratori just did with a walk-off single to send the Tigers to the second round.
What a game all around. We had Gianna Magrino here, who we weren't even expecting to come in, pitching 5 innings. 5 innings of work here. And then in a couple of big rallies by Mamaroneck, they were down 4-0, and they come back to win 5-4 in 9 innings on Patricia Muratori's walk-off single to score Chelsea Rose. What an exciting game. We will be back with some interviews and the post-game wrap-up. Mamaroneck advancing here on LMC TV. All right, so now with Gianna Magrino and Patricia Muratori. So Gianna, can you talk about, obviously you were injured going into this game, didn't even think you were going to play, so kind of how are you feeling and how could you ultimately produce how you did?
There's no words. I'm so proud of my whole team. I didn't think I was going to go in today, but I saw we were struggling, and I went to my coach and said, I think I got this, and I went in and did my best, and my team all came together in the end. That hit was great, by the way, and we just did great today.
And were you feeling pain throughout the game, and kind of can you describe how you battled through that, or did you not even feel anything?
In the beginning, it was a little rough. It was a little sore, but I worked through it, and right now I feel perfectly fine.
And Patricia Muratori with the game-winning walk-off single. Can you talk about kind of your mindset? You had Chelsea Rose on third. What was your mindset going into that at bat?
I was just thinking to just get Chelsea home as best as possible, whether it was a hit or a bunt or just getting her home, getting the winning run.
And how sweet is it as the 2 seniors on her team to kind of connect for this battery to ultimately score this?
Honestly, it's like there's no words to describe how me and Chelsea bonded this year, and this game put a perfect I guess way to our friendship growing and what the seniors this year can do together.
All right, so we're back here. What an amazing game Coach Allison did out. So first of all, can you talk about Gianna Magrino? Initially, she didn't start because of an injury, and then all of a sudden, in the 5th inning, she produced, kind of really turned around the game, it seemed.
Absolutely. I got a text message at 10:30 last night, and I almost cried. But you know, she went to the trainer. She took care of herself. She rested. We rested her for 3 days before. We threw Chelsea in. They've never seen Chelsea. So to have a little bit of the speed changed up on them, I think was huge. Then Tava went in for an inning, threw a great 1 inning for us, and then G came in, and they could not catch up with her. So, I mean, you know, the change in speeds really helped us at this point, and for Gianna to, you know, really push past pain, and I mean, it really shows her maturity and her dedication.
Were you always planning on using her, or was there kind of a decision you made as the game kind of seemed to be potentially getting out of hand?
Between the 2 of us and the trainer, we really weren't going to use her today unless we had to, and we had to. So, you know, for her to come in at that time and say, I'm going to do this, and I got to get this win for us, that was huge. And, you know, we couldn't have done it without her.
And now, you know, you guys were down 4-0. Can you talk about the resiliency of this offense and kind of how they turned this game around and ultimately won the game?
I love that you said resiliency, because that's the one word that we use to describe this team day in and day out. And they really were the definition of that today. Between Mia Steinberg's 2 RBI that she hit in, I mean, my seniors to lead off the 9th inning, and then my other senior, Patty, to knock that run in. I mean, that is resiliency. We didn't want to get into that 10th inning with a runner on 2, and we didn't.
All right, well, an amazing game, very entertaining for us, so congratulations and good luck in the next round.
Thank you, thanks for covering us.
So we're back here with the post-game show on LMC TV. 9-inning game, Eli, and 5-4 win for Mamaroneck. Where to even start on this one?
I mean, Steven, it was a completely unbelievable game. It was exciting. But I think where you have to start is the turning point when Gianna Magrino came on in the 5th inning in relief of Tava Casper, and she just totally turned the game around. Not only was she mowing down the Raiders batters and keeping Scarsdale off the board, she was a total shot in the arm to the team. Momentum swayed right when she came on the field, and she brought the Tigers back into this game.
Yeah, and the Tigers, they were down 4-0, ultimately rallying back. I believe Magrino's first inning, 3 straight strikeouts. So you really did feel the momentum shift. And then that rally in the 7th inning, forced extra innings. We had a big triple from Mia Steinberg, I believe.
Right.
and then it kind of went from there. So now let's talk about the seniors for a second. We had Patricia Muratori and Chelsea Rose, both with big contributions, and that's got to be an additional bonus here, and they're potentially their last game if they didn't win.
That's right, Stephen. I believe there was a senior day at the end of the season, but if you ask me, today was senior day. Chelsea Rose hit one right up the middle there in the ninth to get on base. She stole a bag, it was a great running move. The ball got away, she got to second, got moved over to third, and then to drive her in was Patricia Muratori, the senior. So 2 seniors combining for that final run to put the Tigers on top.
And those are the only 2 seniors on this Mamaroneck
Yes.
team. So the third time they faced off against Scarsdale, this one was definitely the most exciting, and Mamaroneck won all 3, advancing to the next round. So that's all for us here on LMC TV, and a very exciting extra inning victory for the Mamaroneck Tigers softball team. Thank you for watching. For Eli Letterman, I'm Stephen Rome. We'll see you next time.